everybody, welcome back to my channel. I am Addict and I am joined today by Miss Amelia Rose, who just woke up from her nap just as I was sitting down to start recording this video. How are you all going? It's been a hot minute. It's been a couple of months since my last video telling you all the story of Emmy's birth. You might all be happy to know that she's doing very well, and here she is. Just, yeah, doesn't love sleep right now. I'm fine, I'm not tired. But today I thought I would sit down with you all and film a little bit of a channel and life update video. It's been a while since I did one of these and I just felt like before returning to gameplay content on the channel, I wanted to just sit down and have a chit chat video with you guys and just catch you up on what's been happening and hello, all of the news. So I hope you've got a nice hot cup of tea ready for today and a snack maybe. I did have a nice hot cup of tea. Did you just drop that on the floor? I did have a nice hot cup of tea, but then as I said, someone woke up from their nap and I had to go and feed her and come back up here and my tea is not so hot anymore. Do you want to go down on the floor for some tummy time? Hold on, I'm gonna try putting her on the floor for a little bit of tummy time. Be right back. What are you doing? Look at you. Right, we're gonna see how that goes. she may not accept it. We'll see. So today's video is gonna be broken up into two main sections. The first section will be the life update section of the video, and then the second section will be the channel update section of the video. So if you're not interested in hearing about the life stuff, just go ahead. There'll be a chapter marker. You can skip and just tune in for the news on the channel, videos, Sims content, gaming content, all that good stuff. But for those of you who are interested, I thought I would just do a little update of me personally, of the kiddos, life with 2 under 2, and all of that jazz. So that's what we're going to talk about first. So, life with 2 under 2. Why didn't anyone tell me it was going to be hard? I'm kidding, obviously. Having 2 kids has been interesting. It's definitely been an adjustment. I would say, for me personally, not as big of an adjustment as going from 0 to 1 child. I feel like that transition, that initial transition into motherhood or into parenthood for me was just massive. It was so big. It was such a huge life shift to go from having no children to having a child. Whereas going from 1 child to having 2 children, it was just, you know, we just added another child to the mix. You know, we were already doing all the things. We were already living that sort of family life along that family schedule. And so just adding an extra child, it wasn't like as big of an adjustment as, yeah, some people may find it, I guess, or as I found it when I went from being not a parent to being a parent. But definitely it's been intense, for sure. To be honest, the first, I would say like 3-4 months of having Emmy were pretty cruisy. She was a very, very easy newborn. She slept a lot. She was happy. She was content, very chatty, just an absolute delight to have in the house. Yeah, really, really, really easy baby. I was like, I have lucked out. I have the best baby in the entire world. She was easier than Aiden was as a newborn. Like, she was just a super duper, super easy newborn. And then we hit month 4 and things got a little harder for sure. She, you know, month 4 for a baby, they tend to go through something known as the 4-month sleep regression, which definitely for Emmy has been really big because at the same time as we sort of entered into the sleep regression, like a week or so into it, she also decided to show signs of rolling from back to front, and then one day just rolled from back to front like 5 times in a row. And I was like, oh my God, Emmy, are you serious? So then I also had to unswaddle her, whereas she'd been sleeping nice and snug and swaddled before. Now I had to unswaddle her. And so basically her sleep just went out the window completely. She was also going through a major leap. That's another thing that babies tend to do when they turn 4 months old. They really change developmentally. They're just so much more awake, so much more human, so much more lively. They're learning so much, and leaps for babies can make them a little cranky sometimes, a little fussy, a little clingy. And she certainly has been all of those things. Add to that also teething can tend to start around 4 or 5 months old. So she's also started teething. She doesn't have any teeth yet, but boy, does she love to chew on our fingers and also on like teether toys. And all of this all just happened at once in month 4. As well as that, I put up a community post recently saying, you know, like, hey, I'm coming back to YouTube soon. My son is starting childcare, and so I'm going to have time to make videos, was basically the message. And that was the intention. And I actually have filmed a couple of videos. I've got like 2 videos of the Sims 3 Super Sim series filmed and half edited and like ready to upload. We'll get to that in the second part of the video. But Aiden started childcare basically at the start of April, and that adjustment has been really hard and a really big adjustment. Emotionally, just really difficult. He did not take to childcare as well as we'd hoped. He has very big feelings about being dropped off at childcare. He still does. It's better than it was. Like at first, it was quite gut-wrenching to hear him cry and just cling to us and really not want to be left at childcare. He's a little bit more accepting now, but he still does have very, very big feelings about it. And just emotionally as a parent, that was really challenging, on top of just being absolutely exhausted and feeling really, really tired and stressed out from just this crazy month we were having. You know, we wanted to put Aiden in childcare for 2 main reasons. The first reason was for his development. You know, we think childcare would be really good for him socially and cognitively and everything. He has a language delay, my son. He doesn't talk much. He's got some words now, which is really, really exciting, but his language is probably about 6 months behind where it sort of should be and where his peers are. And so, you know, we were hoping that maybe childcare would help with that a little bit. And, you know, he was just getting to this phase where staying at home with me every day was just not really stimulating enough for him. And so for his development, we wanted to give him more and enter him into childcare. But the second reason that we wanted to do it was for me, so that I would have some time to hopefully come back to YouTube, so that I could have some days where I didn't have to deal with 2 small children. I only had to deal with 1 small child, and babies, honestly, so cruisy compared to toddlers. Oh my goodness, everyone's like, oh, the newborn phase is the hardest. Lies and deceit. Toddler phase is the hardest. No, I mean, each to their own. I'm sure it's different for every person. But I wanted to have some days where I could feel a bit more human and remember who I am aside from being a mum of 2 young kids. And so, you know, with that in mind, and then how upset Aiden was by childcare, the guilt that I have been carrying and have been trying to grapple with and deal with of feeling like, you know, it's all because of me. It's all my fault. I should be a better mum. I should, you know, I should do more for him at home. I should just not send him to childcare. I should just, you know, it's been very challenging. I've been struggling mentally a lot with it. And so that's been really hard. And then on top of that, the thing that childcare does is also bring home illnesses. For any mums, any families who have had a child start in childcare, you would probably know that, the first couple of months are a bit rough in terms of immune system adjustment. So, you know, Aiden hadn't even really started at childcare yet when he started bringing home bugs. He had some transition visit days and started bringing home illnesses pretty much straight away. So the last month, we have also been all dealing with a lot of illness. Emmy, myself, my husband, Aiden, we've all been sick. Most recently was hand, foot, mouth, which was not super fun. It was a very mild case of hand, foot, mouth, I will say. We got a bit lucky with that. We didn't get like really bad mouth blisters or anything. We just had, I had a really big fever and we all got rashes and sort of little blisters on. My husband got some on his elbow. And then Aiden got he got a really bad nappy rash and had a rash all over his feet and legs. And then I had some on my feet and hands. We didn't notice any on Amelia, but she was really fussy for like a week or so, especially with feeding. So I think she might have had like a really sore throat or possibly a blister in her mouth or on her tongue or in her throat or something. So that was fun too. Basically, you know, after 3 months of everything being pretty cruisy with my 2 little kids, month 4 happened and it was just like everything, the crap just hit the fan. We're still sort of coming through it. Emmy is still, she's getting through her sleep regression. She's doing pretty well now, I think. But now what we're dealing with is she's you know, five and a bit months old, and she's hungry. Like, this girl is getting ready to start eating solids. And so she's gone from, before she had her sleep regression and everything, she was only waking up really once a night for milk. So I was only having to do like one feed at about 3 or 4 in the morning, and that was it. But now she wakes up at least 2 or 3 times and is honestly hungry. Like, she will not go back to sleep unless she gets some milk. And when I feed her, she'll have like a really big, long feed. So I know she's actually hungry. She's not just like sucking for comfort or anything. But so, yeah, we're getting there. But like last night, you know, she was awake at 11:30, 2:30, was fussy till 4, and then woke up at 6:30. So that was a fun night. But yeah, so things have been pretty challenging, I think. But I mean, I guess where we're at now is, yeah, Emmy's 5 and a bit months old. So next month she's gonna start solids most likely, or we might even start her a little bit earlier. We're working on sitting up with her, and I think once we've mastered the art of sitting up, I might start to feed her some solids just because she is so hungry. And then Aiden is 22 months old, so he is going to be turning 2 this year on the 4th of July, which is just so crazy. I can't believe I have an almost 2-year-old, and that I've been a parent for 2 years, and that he's been around for 2 years, and it's just mental. Like, where did that 2 years go? On the one hand, I'm like, yeah, no, I know where that 2 years went, but on the other hand, I'm like, where did that 2 years go? So that's really crazy. And yeah, he's definitely like really intense, full toddler mode. We're having lots of big feelings, lots of meltdowns. His behavior is constantly shifting. He's constantly learning new things and just experiencing new things. As I mentioned, he does have a language delay. So it's all expressive language delay. His receptive language is very, very good. He can comprehend everything we tell him. It's just when it comes to actually speaking, he's quite behind. So we will possibly be looking into getting him in to see a speech pathologist after he turns 2. He does have a few words now. He says more, and he says mum, and he says up, and he says wow, and he says uh-oh, and he says book, and he says ball. And so, you know, they're coming. He doesn't say these words very clearly, mind you, but they're distinguishable. I can distinguish them. I've realized that I'm that toddler parent now who they're like, oh, he's saying this, and everyone else is like, is he? I'm like, yeah. I can understand what he's saying. So it's getting there, but yeah, it's just about 6 months behind average, or where he should be. So, you know, it might be that he'll catch up in his own time, or it might be that some speech pathology would be beneficial. We're thinking that speech pathology would probably be beneficial. So yeah, I'm working with his doctor about that, and we'll probably do a couple of sessions with a speech pathologist after he turns 2, just to get an assessment and get some tips and see if they can make a difference there. Because yeah, the meltdowns, the big feelings, they're pretty intense, especially when he wants something and he can't quite communicate to us what he wants. He does have a very good grasp of sign language. I managed to teach him quite a number of signs before he was speaking at all, so he could communicate with us, you know, things that he wanted, and that was extremely helpful. But yeah, we're definitely dealing with some toddlerness. Considering what he's like now before he's even turned 2, I'm a little bit concerned about what terrible 2s are going to be like, but we'll see. But what that means is that I've only got like 2 months left of even having 2 kids under 2, and then I'm going to have a 2-year-old and a not 2-year-old. 2, what do they say? Like 2 and under or something? Oh, really? But yeah, so I guess personally, this postpartum journey has been complicated, I think would be the best word for it. Obviously, I didn't have the birth experience that I was expecting or planning by any means. Recovering from a C-section was quite difficult and quite long-winded. I feel like I'm still really recovering from that C-section. Like, my scar is still healing and things twinge uncomfortably down there sometimes. And emotionally, I've been in therapy, so don't worry too much about me. I've got a full mental health care plan, and I'm very, like, I guess, with it in terms of mental health care. But all that to say, yeah, emotionally and mentally, it's been challenging at times, for sure. And particularly with having 2 small children, you do just tend to lose yourself a little bit. Like, life can be just so busy with taking care of them and meeting their needs and making sure that they're happy and that the house is running and that things are going relatively, like, functionally. it can be quite challenging. So definitely there's been some struggles, some ups and downs. I think I'm doing okay. I wouldn't say I'm doing great, but I would say I'm doing okay. I'm not like terrible, but I'm just, you know, I look forward to Emmy hopefully starting to sleep again a bit more when she starts to eat food, and I look forward to hopefully my son developing his ability to speak a little bit more. I think those would be two very helpful things for me personally. And health-wise, you know, I mentioned in my last video that I wanted to, you know, lose a bit of weight, and I wanted to get back in shape a bit after having 2 kids in very close succession. So I've been trying, and I'm getting there. I've lost about 10 kilos so far, but it's slow going, and I'm like an emotional binge eater. For any of you watching who relate to that, I feel you, I see you, I am you. So when things get hard for me, I do tend to reach for the snackety crunchities. And so that's an ongoing like thing that I try to manage, is like, oh, I'm feeling so stressed, I just want to eat some chocolate. No, I don't want to eat chocolate because I want to be fit is an ongoing battle for me, but it's getting there, you know. I mean, 5 months postpartum and 10 kilos down, I guess, is pretty good. And of course, it would also be really nice if my hair would stop falling out. Yes, my hair's falling out. It's all your fault. Yeah, postpartum hair loss is no joke. I feel like that should be something that is spoken about more. I feel like hair loss in general can be quite an emotional topic. Like for anyone who's experienced hair loss, it's actually quite upsetting. Like there's something about our hair, I think, which is it's very like important to us. Yeah, it's right. You don't even have any hair yet. But yeah, I tend to lose a lot of hair up here. I get these like little sort of devil horn bald spots that you can see here, and then this will all grow back in and be quite thick and luscious again eventually. But right now, as you can see, it's yeah, my hair is quite thin up there. So I'm hoping that the hair loss will slow down soon and it will start to grow back in. I know that it will. Like, I know that it will because I went through this with my son as well. But I feel like the hair loss this time around has actually been a little bit worse. And of course, because I had 2 children so close together, I don't know if my hair really ever fully recovered and grew back properly before I was pregnant again and then had another baby. So I feel like I'm really bit thin in the hairline at the moment. So hopefully that'll start to grow back soon. I know it's I don't know, it sounds probably a bit stupid to talk about. But as I said, hair loss, it's a thing. It's difficult sometimes. But now, so in terms of the YouTube channel, the plan still is to come back and to start creating video content again. So as I mentioned before, I have recorded some Sims 3 gameplay. I intended for it to be one video, but I recorded it in so many separate like segments that when I came to sit down to edit it, I realized that I had like 2 hours of footage, and I was like, oh, that's probably a bit too much for one episode. So I've got enough Sims 3 content recorded for 2 episodes. So the Sims 3 Super Sim series will absolutely be continuing. I know that it's not like my most viewed series here on the channel, but yeah, I love the Super Sim series. I have a lot of fun with it, so I'm going to continue that one on. I have a lot of Sims 2 videos planned. I want to do a deep dive into running restaurants as sort of like a follow-on from my Open for Business mods and tutorial video. I want to do some more Open for Business focused videos. And then I have a whole series planned, semi-planned and almost ready to go, which I don't know if I want to spoil what it is. No, I will spoil what it is. It's going to be Stardew Valley in The Sims 2. So that I have been preparing for on and off for the last couple of months, downloading and putting together like a very curated custom content and mods folder. So that I hope to start sometime in the next few months. Then, of course, we also have Life by You is being released in next month, is it? Like June, I think, in early access. I do plan to get it, but only because I have a YouTube channel and we do life simulation games. This might be an unpopular opinion, but I personally think that Life by You actually looks quite terrible at the moment from what I've seen. I think they're trying their best and I hope to see improvements. I haven't completely written it off yet, but I think the game does not look very good. I think the character models are really, really, really bad, and I have many concerns about the gameplay. So we'll see. As I said, yeah, I would not be buying it if it weren't for the fact that I have a YouTube channel and a Twitch channel and I want to explore it all with you guys. Because I don't think it looks very good. I don't know. I'm very, yeah. I'll obviously reserve full judgment until I actually get my hands on the game. But for me personally, I'm looking at these videos that they're releasing and I'm going like, eee. If I had enough time, I would also come back to The Sims 1. I don't think I do have enough time. Ideally, I'd like to just be able to get one video out per week. That would be nice. In my dreams, I get 2 videos out per week. Oof, that would be like, wow. And then in my super duper ideal fairy tale world, I can get like 3 or 4 videos out per week. Yeah, right. That might have to wait until these kids are in school. Because there is another game I'd like to play on the channel, just for something really different, which is RimWorld. RimWorld actually released a new DLC, and it's really crazy and really fun and just such a different type of game. And I don't think anyone would want to watch me play RimWorld because I'm really actually not very good at it. But boy, it would be fun. Anyway, for sure, we're going to be returning to the Sims 3 Super Sim series, and the Sims 2 videos will be coming back out on the channel, hopefully starting soon. And for those of you who do support me on Patreon, I see you all. Thank you all so much for your support, particularly over the last few months where things have been very hit and miss with me releasing Patreon updates and Hanson River content for you all. But that content is set to continue. I've been playing Hanson River this week, dealing with a lot of bugs, actually, so that I've been trying to sort out. But for those of you who do support me on Patreon, your Hanson River content will be resuming very shortly as well. And if you're interested in supporting me on Patreon, there's a link in the video description below. But yeah, certainly I'm hoping to just, yeah, softly come back to YouTube over the next little while. Things are, yeah, we have things kind of settling into place now, I think, for that to happen, as long as we don't continue to get diseases like hand, foot, mouth. Obviously, this little one I still have with me all the time. She is very, very attached to me. One of the things I forgot to mention when I was talking about, I guess, the kids and everything is that Emmy has completely refused any and all bottles since she was very young. She only accepts milk right from me, right from the source. Milk on tap, thank you, mother. Anything, she won't take it. No matter what type of bottle we've tried, no matter how consistently we've tried it. Expressed breast milk, she just won't take it. She won't take a bottle. So I literally have to do every single feed for this girl. I can't leave her with grandma or with her dad and leave her with a bottle and some express milk because she just will not take it. So that's been another thing that's been a little bit challenging and quite different this time round with Emmy compared to Aiden, because Aiden was more than happy to take a bottle. He was just like, oh, this is fine as long as I get milk. We're cool. Whereas she is very much just like, no, thank you, mummy. I will take it only from you. Yeah, you love it. And of course, for those of you who are part of my community on Twitch, live streams are going to be continuing. I've been back live streaming for quite a few months. I think I was 6 weeks postpartum when I started live streaming again. Was it 6 weeks or 8 weeks or 12 weeks? I don't remember. But for the last couple months, I have actually been back on Twitch live streaming. So if you are interested in heading over to Twitch and joining us for weekend live streams, there's a link in the video description too. I have completely failed at keeping my VODs channel up to date. Like completely just spectacularly failed at that. So I do apologize for that. If I can, I would like to get back to VODs, but we'll see. My main priority right now is actually getting back to this channel, getting back to getting content out here. And then if the universe allows, I will try to get back to uploading to the VOD channel too. But that is not top of the priority list at the moment. So I just want to thank you all for joining me for this channel and life update video ramble. I hope that you have enjoyed this little catch up. I hope that your tea was delicious. Mine is pretty good. Thank you all so much for your support ongoing and for watching and engaging with this video. I hope to see you really soon in more Sims content. And yeah, in the meantime, everybody take care and bye for now. Say bye-bye, Emmy. Bye-bye.